Hello everybody, welcome to another Versus Video Deck Tech. CVM here, joined once again by
BBD
with Brian Brondoin. And I am playing another Elvish Mystic deck.
Ooh, what a shocking revelation.
So this is actually
shamanic revelation.
That card should probably be in the sideboard.
Maybe.
But this is a new deck from the Standard Open in Washington, D.C. this last weekend. Unfortunately, wasn't able to crack the top 8, but this list did get 11th and kind of flew under the radar the majority of the day. There was another version that got some coverage, but I think this version's actually better. So this is, as you can see here, basically a mono-green devotion list that is splashing for Temur Ascendancy as a way to go infinite. So if we have 7 devotion, Temur Acendancy with Temur Sabertooth and our Voyaging Satyr, we can return it to our hand, recast it, use Nykthos over and over, netting 1 mana each time, which will allow us to go infinite. And at that point, we can kill our opponent by casting Genesis Hydra over and over and over again, putting every permanent from our deck, every non-land permanent from our deck into play, and then just killing them because they all have haste.
Yep, and you can also use Nihilate to pump them infinitely and things like that.
Or we can just like Hornet Queen over and over and over again.
That seems okay.
Yeah, that seems okay too. So yeah, it's the deck is actually really sweet, and just having the ability to kill your opponent going infinite when you're just playing this already powerful green devotion strategy, I think is very good.
Yeah. So
like we still have Elvish Mystic, Caryatid, Voyaging Satyr. Will let us ramp into like Polukranos, the new Temur Sabertooth, Eidolon of Blossoms. A little bit of an engine here with Courser and Boon Satyr, Temur Ascendancy to draw some cards, and then we just get to get our Nykthos and just power out a whole bunch of expensive stuff for cheap, and then kill our opponent. So one of the things that I didn't really like about the Green Devotion decks in the past is that you get this engine going, the ball's rolling, we're putting pressure on opponents and probably going to win, but they still have chances to beat us by drawing a few removal spells, or you're just burning us out if they have like Lightning Strike or Stoke the Flames in their deck. But having this infinite combo gives us just another angle to attack, and I think that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and Temur Sabertooth is actually just a good card by itself anyway.
Yep.
There are so many like things you can do with it. Like you can, like if your opponent attacks you with 2 creatures and you have a Sabertooth and a Mystic, you can like put the Mystic under their biggest guy, put the Sabertooth under another guy, like bounce the Elvish Mystic, giving this guy indestructible, and just like blank their attack and kill one of their attacking creatures.
Yep.
Or you can just
bounce your Eidolon and redo it.
Yeah.
Bounce a Monstrous Polukranos and redo it.
Yeah.
Bounce a Genesis Hydra and redo it. You can even bounce your Boon Satyr so you can bestow it, which is kind of cute.
Yeah. Or you can bounce the creature that Boon Satyr is on
to make it fall off.
Yep.
And do Hornet Queen over and over again. Arbor Colossus over and over, and Temur Ascendancy is going to allow us to draw cards if we're bouncing creatures of power 4 or greater.
Yeah, so like even like 2 copies of Temur Sabertooth, you can bounce each other with like a Temur Ascendancy and go crazy that way. So the cards actually seems like great, even outside of the fact that you can go infinite. It just seems like a very good value creature for a deck like this, which it may seem weird for a green creature deck, but this deck's all about value anyway. So
yeah, this deck, it looks surprisingly well thought out.
It does. It looks actually really well built for week 1 of a format. Especially
since I didn't even realize that there was any combos with Temur Ascendancy.
Yeah, I didn't know either, and there were multiple Temur Ascendancy decks doing really well at the Open, so yeah, that was actually really cool to see.
Apparently, if you have 7 devotion, you also can use a Karametra's Acolyte.
Yes.
Instead of Voyaging Satyr with a Nykthos. But then you have Karametra's Acolyte in your deck. So which really it's not going to be cohesive with your ramp game plan because it costs 4 mana.
Are you hating on Karametra's Acolyte?
Oh no, not at all.
Good.
Absolutely not.
Good.
It's a good Acolyte.
Yeah.
So this is the main deck for the Temur Ascendancy combo. Let's go ahead and take a look at the sideboard and see what kind of options a deck like this has.
All right.
All right, everybody, we are back with the sideboard for the Temur Ascendancy combo deck. As you can see here, we have lots of Temur-colored cards. By that I mean they have green in their mana cost.
They are still Temur-colored.
And so if you see here, the top row, we have 4 Nihilist Disciples, 3 Hornet's Nest, basically the come at me bro row. This is the package that we want against the aggressive decks, things like Goblin Rabblemaster, Hordeling Outburst. Anything that wants to try and attack us early and often, these are the types of cards that we want.
Like goblins must attack each turn? All right, that sounds great. Sounds great.
Next, we have 2 Reclamation Sage. It's just value creatures to get rid of troublesome enchantments. Things like Courser can pose some problems if the games go long, but it's also a way to get rid of like Eidolon Blossoms, Whip of Erebos, Doomwake Giant. It's also very good against like the Jeskai Tokens deck as a way to kill the Ascendancy, since that's really how they're going to beat you once you can bring cards like this in.
Yeah, and you can like Reclamation Stage their Ascendancy, and they're like, ha, got a second one. You're like,
and you bounce it with the Temur Sabertooth.
Yeah,
that card's real good.
Yeah. Bounce Nihilious Disciple over and over again.
Yeah, I definitely missed that card.
Yeah.
Next, we have 3 Ranger's Guile as ways to save our Temur Sabertooth, or Voyaging Satyr, or just a way to blank an early removal spell.
Yep.
And next, we have 3 Fatties, I guess, just as ways to diversify our threats.
Ugin looks pretty skinny to me. He looks like he could actually add some meat to his bones.
I mean, his wings are real big, though.
Okay, yeah.
We have a Whisperwood Elemental, just as a way to give us protection against wrath effects. It's also just a very good value creature. We have a Hornet Queen. Wow, so you can bounce the manifested creatures to your hand, and if their spells, cast them.
Yeah. But this deck doesn't play any spells, so they're all creatures. All right, it plays 1 Ugin.
We have another Hornet Queen, just because as we saw with the Green-Black Constellation deck, Hornet Queen is just very good. And an Ugin, because Ugin is almost unbeatable for some decks, and since we have Nykthos, Genesis Hydra, and a billion ways to produce mana, we definitely want some number of Ugins. I feel like there probably should be more than 1 in the 75.
Probably, yeah.
But that's just me after playing with it all weekend.
Yeah. I do want to disagree with one thing. I know you called these all fatties, but really none of them look fat. Like, Whisperwood Elemental is a tree, and he looks like disproportionately skinny. It's just, I don't know.
I mean, he costs 5 mana. That makes him a fatty.
Yeah, but, I mean, look at that. He's like a twig. He should be a little bit bigger.
Trees are deceptive.
All right. I'll accept that.
So this is the sideboard for the Temur Ascendancy combo deck. Make sure you check out the BBD's deck tech for his Green-Black Constellation deck, and then stick around to watch the battles.